time to wake up. It's 5, and we're live.
Oh, is this thing on? I don't care. I want him to hear.
This is the Pregame Show, your early morning shot of sports on 95.7 The Game. Come on!
The run through the window, around the edge. He should go down, and he does. Great awareness by the rookie at the 2-yard line as he goes down, and that'll seal the game.
No one, and I mean no one, loves falling short of a touchdown than one Isaac Guerrero, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome in. It's the Pregame Show. Joe Spadoni. You got me for the next hour, and for the next hour, God, we got a lot to get into. This was an insane weekend in sports. Insane. It started Friday night, and I know we hate the Dodgers around here, around these parts, but my God, that was an incredible game. Walk-off blast starting off the sports weekend by one Frederick Freeman. I don't even know if his full name is Frederick. I'm just saying that. A la Kirk Gibson, Game 1, 1988 World Series off Dennis Eckersley. I know, not the same circumstances. One was one of the greatest relievers of all time. The other was Nestor Cortez, who hasn't even pitched in, a month? But that was how the sports weekend kicked off. And then yesterday in the NFL, just insane things happening. We had a walk-off Hail Mary for the Washington Commanders out in D.C. against Caleb Williams and the Chicago Bears after the Bears were not doing anything the whole game, and then they came back, took the lead. You got guys arguing with the fans in the back of the end zone. It was just mayhem yesterday. The witching hour is undefeated when it comes to the red zone. Scott Hansen was on fire for NFL Network. And it culminated with the San Francisco 49ers and the Dallas Cowboys in Sunday Night Football in a game that I never thought the Cowboys were going to win. You heard me on Friday. What was I saying? This is going to be a blowout. The Niners are going to win. The Cowboys don't have anyone. They didn't have Micah Parsons. They didn't have Rico Dowdle. They had Dalvin Cook and Zeke Elliott. Please. That would have been a fun 1-2 punch 6 years ago. Not now. But Cowboys took a halftime lead, 10-6. And then there was that third quarter 49ers, a la the old Golden State Warriors when they had the third quarter Warriors, 21 unanswered from the red and gold there to take a dominant lead heading into the fourth. But we know with the 49ers this season, no lead is safe. And it wasn't, as the Cowboys came all the way back and had a chance to drive the length of the field and take the lead. But, Dak Prescott's Dak Prescott, and that wasn't going to happen. For everything that Patrick Mahomes is to the 49ers, being a thorn in their side and finding ways to win and make winning plays, winning ugly, if you will, shout out Brad Gilbert, BG Tennis Nation, Dak Prescott and the Cowboys are just the opposite. Dak will just find a way to lose in Santa Clara. It's just what he does. It's just what he does. An incredible play by Diamondor Lenore, who's playing like a Pro Bowler. His price tag is going up, up, up every week. You had Jair Brown early getting a pick. Like, he just knew Dak, who was an accident waiting to happen, made an accident, made a mistake, and it was over. And the 49ers improved to 4-4 heading into their bye week. Debo left the game, rib injury. You got to get guys on the mend now. This is what the bye week is for. It could not have come at a better time for the San Francisco 49ers. And this division, by the way, is nuts. And part of that witching hour yesterday in the NFL, the Arizona Cardinals coming back and beating Tua Tagovailoa's Miami Dolphins as Tua makes his return. You saw that whole stadium erupt when he went down and did a slide. It's like, oh my God, Tua, he's learning. He's becoming self-aware. He slid. The Cardinals get the win. The Cardinals right now, because they have the win over the Niners, the Arizona Cardinals heading into week 9 of the NFL season, your first place. First place in the NFC West. I would call it the NL West. I had to stop myself. This isn't baseball. Man, this division is nuts. It really is. You got 3 teams tied at 4-4. Niners, Seahawks, Cardinals, and then you got the Rams right there at 3-4. And the Rams, they're not trading Cooper Kupp. They're not trading anyone. Hell, maybe they're buying. We know what Les Snead likes to do. He likes to go all in if he can. I don't think this is a Rams team they go all in on, but they got Puka Nacua, they got Cooper Kupp, they got Blake Corum, they got Kyron Williams, they got Matt Stafford. That's a team you got to be worried about. At least keep it in the back of your mind. Then you got the Seahawks, who got their asses kicked yesterday against the Buffalo Bills, and the Bills do that. Bills, by the way, total inverse of the NFC West is the AFC East. Bills just dominating that division. Night, night, see you later. It's over. I'm calling it already. AFC East is over. Bills 6-2, Dolphins 2-5, Patriots 2-6, and last in the division. Last. Oh, I thought the firing of Robert Saleh was going to solve everything. I thought bringing in Devontae Adams would be great. Oh, turns out it wasn't. Oh, the Jets. Jets, Jets. I was watching that game too. That was a crazy game at the end there. Jacoby Brissett, Ramondre Stevenson. Hey, night, see you later. Patriots get the win over the Jets. Jets are done. Just stick a fork in them. If Aaron Rodgers thought he was going to have a Tom Brady ending to his career, he was sorely mistaken. There's only one Tom Brady. And he was very particular choosing the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and that organization than Aaron Rodgers was and forcing his way out and getting traded to the New York bleeping Jets. There's levels to this. You see it in every sport. Certain organizations will find ways to lose. Doesn't matter if they have a Hall of Fame quarterback, a Hall of Fame wide receiver, a all-pro secondary weapon in Sauce Gardner, a very good wide receiver in Garrett Wilson. Doesn't matter. An all-pro and Quinnen Williams, one of the best defensive tackles in football. Like, bad organizations find ways to lose. I was watching the Raiders game yesterday against the Kansas City Chiefs. You get mediocrity at quarterback position yesterday for the Las Vegas Raiders. You win that game against the Chiefs. It's pretty simple. Like the Chiefs, and we know this from the Chiefs. They're not amazing. They're not, out there lighting it up. They're skating by, but they're making enough winning plays and not doing boneheaded things at boneheaded times, Gardner Minshew, to win games. And this is what I circuit all back around to the 49ers. This is a winning organization. This is not the New York Jets. This is not the Las Vegas Raiders. This is the San Francisco 49ers. And they're used to winning. And Kyle Shanahan, as of late, has been used to winning at the highest level possible. And yesterday, although they made it interesting late, that was the win that you needed to have, and they got. But it doesn't solve everything. It makes you feel better heading into a bye week. You're 4-4. You're right in the thick of the division. The NFC is wide open. Yes, the Lions looked amazing, but I'll wait and see still with the Lions. Are they going to make a move at defensive end after losing Aiden Hutchinson? Yes, they beat the Tennessee Titans. The Titans stink. It's great. But I look at that win yesterday, and although the Cowboys, and again, 24 dropped on you there on the defensive end is a little concerning. And I'm not here to say there's not concern with San Francisco. This is a 500 team. They're 500. You are what your record says you are. They're an average team right now.
I'm not going to sugarcoat it. You can sit here and do a sugarcoat job.
Thanks, Joe. And we'll get to the Warriors in a second because they lost to the Clippers yesterday, but they might have had a bigger loss on the court as Stephen Curry hobbled off there, injured. They're calling it an ankle. His left, it rolled. It looked gross. So we'll get into that a little bit later. But 888-957-9570. That's the number to get involved. Call, text, the Comcast Business text line. Hit me up. Twitch, Twitter, or YouTube, all powered by First NorCal Credit Union. Go ahead and search 95.7 The Game. Like, subscribe on any of those platforms. You can follow me at Spadoni_Joe on Twitter. Also, be sure to drive safe out there. And happy Halloween this week. It's Halloween week. So happy Halloween to all you people. Be safe driving around this week, please. People are going to be walking around with their kids at night and stuff like that. So please. I got 2 kids of my own. I'll be trick-or-treating Thursday night think we're doing Toy Story this year. Young Benjamin's going to be Buzz. Baby Nora's going to be Woody. She don't want to be Jessie. She want to be Woody. It's fine. I ordered my Sid shirt with the skull. I'll be Sid. So there you go. The bad kid. Who kind of looks like Derek Carr a little bit. I'm not shaving my head, though. I'm not putting the braces on. Not doing that. But my question to 49ers fans this morning at 888-957-9570. How would you assess this 49ers team? If you can give me one word to describe this San Francisco 49ers team right now, 4-4 heading into the bye week, what would it be? Mine? They're average. They're an average team. That's okay. You're not terrible. And being average right now is not the worst spot to be in. It's not. Here's Kyle Shanahan after the game, head coach of your San Francisco 49ers, on the message for the team down at halftime, heading into the second half.
Stop having penalties. There was no message. It was, we got to stop hurting ourselves. I think 7.5 yards of play in the first half and had a bunch of big penalties that really hurt us. Debo's obvious one getting called back, a couple of the holdings on some long runs, and then, missing that fourth down was big. Felt we were doing some good stuff, but we hurt ourselves, and it was nice to start off third quarter and go down and score right away, and D started rolling. I think we got a turnover the next drive and did it again, and got on a little groove there for a little bit.
The 49ers did what they needed to do yesterday, and we knew what the game plan was and what it should be heading into this matchup. It's no secret. Cowboys have the worst rush defense in the NFL. What do the 49ers need to do to win games under the Kyle Shanahan approach? It's run the ball. What did they do yesterday? All things being equal, 36 carries, 223 yards on the ground. Yeah, that's the recipe for success. Whether it's against the Cowboys, whether it's against the Chiefs, whether it's against De La Salle football. I don't care who. It doesn't matter. The Monstars. You rush for 223 yards, chances are you're probably going to win that game. Brock Purdy added 246. Check that, 260 in the air. And the 49ers improved to 4-4. And by the way, the Dallas Cowboys, the Jerry Jones, whenever they pan to him in the box, it's just so meme worthy every time I see it. They just can't help themselves. Oh, there's Jerry Jones. We got to make our weekly viewing at Jerry. Whenever either the Cowboys score or the 49ers score, you got to. How's Jerry looking? How's he looking? I cannot wait until we don't have to keep doing that anymore. Cannot wait. And then we're gonna go to what? Stephen Jones? It's not gonna be the same. Oh, Jerry, Mike McCarthy's donezo. Does he last through the season? That's what I want to know. They're 3-4 right now. By the way, the Eagles, talking about the NFC East, Eagles with a tremendous win yesterday. Tremendous. Huh. That guy, by the way. And yes, he was asked about it after the game. Nick Bosa, crashing the postgame interview on Sunday Night Football, Melissa Stark with George Kittle and Brock Purdy. And then you got Nick Bosa wrapping his arm around Brock, wearing his Make America Great Again hat. Spadoni, your thoughts? I have no thoughts. Where have you been, under a rock? Nick Bosa, Trump supporter? What do you want? What does he want from me? Want to give you my take, my political take on that? I don't care. How about that? I don't have a thought about that this morning. But he was asked about it after the game, so I'll just play it, and then there you go. That'll make you feel better.
No, I mean, it's definitely a little easier nowadays. But no, I don't feel too inclined to do that.
Easier because
just a different climate.
Asked if he's been tempted to make a political statement. That was yesterday. And then here he is on wearing the hat.
I'm not going to talk too much about it, but I think it's an important time.
There you go. It's an important time. Election next Tuesday. So get out there and vote, people. That's my PSA this morning. Get out there and vote. He could have just said that. This is an important time. Just say, hey, go vote. There you go. That's what the NFL, they're campaigning and stuff like that. You haven't seen any major NFL player endorse anyone. I think Nick Bosa would probably be the first yesterday. But again, I'm here to talk about the game. That was part of it. That was part of after the game. And there you go. You heard from the man himself. 888-957-9570. One word to describe the 49ers, season, the team, whatever. How would you describe them right now, heading into the bye week at 4-4. I'm going with average, 888-957-9570. Mediocre, that being the 408. 415, the most anticipated sports talk today. Jera on 105.3 The Fan. RJ and Sean. Yeah, we'll be rolling. We'll see. We'll see if it fits into a schedule, as he says. Not a schedule, a schedule. I love that. Little southern accent. Schedule. Mediocre. Average. Yeah. Get a thesaurus out. You can just find other words. Yeah. Decent. They're not doing anything spectacular right now. And I think at a halfway point into a season, which is basically what we're at, I loved it when it was 16 games. Now it's 17 games. But they're 4-4. This isn't the same team as last year. Yeah, obviously Spadoni. They don't have Christian McCaffrey. They no Brandon Ayuk. This isn't the same team. But it's more than that. This is a team right now that is not going to have easy wins. They might have one or two here and there, depending on how things shake out. But I think what we've learned from the San Francisco 49ers thus far is that nothing's going to be easy. Nothing's in the bag. We cannot give them the benefit of the doubt this season. They have not earned that. Even in that game against the Cowboys, they had 21 unanswered in the third quarter. They were up, 17 points? 3 scores? It's like, it's 3 scores heading into the fourth. This game's over. Until it wasn't. Until the defense wet the bed multiple times. You might want to cover CeeDee Lamb. He's the best player on that team. 13 receptions, $146. My God, 2 touchdowns. Guy was incredible. He was just wide open. Mike Tirico.
Second and goal. Prescott to CeeDee Lamb. Got 3 coming across. Nobody with them. And Dallas stays alive with a touchdown. Prescott, end zone shot at CeeDee for a touchdown. And the Cowboys are alive. CeeDee Lamb having a quarter. It is a 7-point game.
It's incredible. Might want to guard him, double him, force Jalen Tolbert or Jake Ferguson or Cavante Turpin to beat you. Brevin Spanford, that's not a real name. Come on. That's where we're at. But the 49ers won the game. They did. You just can't look away from this team, this thing, and think it's going to be easy. You just can't when you're watching San Francisco. But there is something refreshing about that. And if you're a fan, you'd like to blow out every team and have stress-free games and stuff like that. But I got to tell you, covering the team makes it a lot more interesting. This team has been fascinating to cover start to finish this season. Whether it was the hold-ins, the holdouts, whether it was the injuries, the bilateral Achilles tendonitis, Brandon Ayuk's out for the year, Brock Purdy coming off his worst game. I didn't think he was amazing yesterday. I thought he was solid. Did not have a great first half. The overall stat line is going to look pretty positive for him. 18 to 26, 260. I thought he was okay. I thought he made the plays that needed to be made yesterday in the second half, and they won the game. I was impressed with Ricky Pearsall. I'll tell you that. Slick Rick. 4 receptions, 38 yards. He had the one run for 39 yards. I was impressed. He looked juicy yesterday, as Greg Cosell, R95.7, the Game NFL insider, and breaker of film, as I call him. He breaks it down better than anyone else. He called him juicy last week. No, he was juicy yesterday. He was making some juicy plays. Isaac Guerrero, the rook, 14 carries, 85 yards and a tug, and sliding down at the end of the game, icing it. Not quite doing it like he did against Seattle, but this time it actually iced the game, and it worked out. Speaking of those rookies, Kyle Shanahan, how do you feel about your rookie class?
We went into this year, we thought it'd be real hard for a lot of the rookies to earn starting positions, just where our team was at, but believed that they were going to give us some real good depth. And you hope to have some good luck and stuff and not have to get to that, but we haven't in all areas. And unfortunately, that a lot of those guys are players. They showed it in preseason, and when their number's been called, they've all come in and done their job, and they all continue to get better too.
Rookie class has been pretty freaking good. I've been impressed so far with the little I've seen from Ricky Pearsall. Just basing off not having training camp, not being a part of the first 4 games of the season, 5 games, 6 games. Guy got shot in the chest, and he's making plays like he was making yesterday. He was getting separation. But again, there's levels to this. The Kansas City Chiefs and the Dallas Cowboys cannot be further from the spectrum when it comes to contending teams. Are you closer to that team against, Kansas City? Are you closer to being that team and getting punked and not being able to run the ball and throwing 3 interceptions and not getting separation? Are you closer to that team, or are you closer to the team that, was blowing out the Cowboys for most of it? But the final score, 30-24, makes it seem like, you haven't figured it out yet. There's somewhere in between. Again, they're average right now, which is okay. Not the worst spot to be in. But if your goal is to win a Super Bowl still this season, which is the goal in that locker room, I know we don't want to talk about it in the media. We don't say, we're not giving them that credit. Well, the NFC right now, again, I'm not crowning anyone in the NFC. You're crowning the Lions at being 6-1, great. Crowning the Commanders, crowning them 6-2. All right, the Philadelphia Eagles, I'm not. Falcons, they're 5-3. Great. By the way, the NFC North, my God, stacked. Even the Bears losing yesterday, and that was a brutal loss for them. If they wanted to, stick around in this playoff picture, because I think that's the kind of a loss they're going to look back on saying, damn, we really tricked that off. And they did. I mean, there's just no excuses for losing a game like that in a Hail Mary situation like that, although it was awesome to see Caleb and Jaden both making plays there late in the game. That was exciting. That was fun. But the Lions, 6-1. The Packers getting the job done, eking out a win over the Jacksonville Jaguars. Malik Willis coming in for Jordan Love, who left the game with a groin injury. Josh Jacobs running rampant. Packers have won 4 straight. Lions have won 5 straight. The Vikings, they've lost 2 in a row. But I still think they're for real. I'm not sleeping on them at all. That was a huge win for the Rams, obviously, against the Vikings. But they're going to come back with a vengeance. Who the Vikings got next week, actually? Vikings schedule. Colts. Oh, that's Sunday Night Football. That's right. They were promoting it yesterday. Anthony Richardson. Oh, God. They got the win, though, didn't they? Texans, Colts. Oh, the Texans had a. I thought, again, that was part of that witching hour. I didn't know. Crazy things were happening there. They had a fumble there late. The Texans were going for the kill shot, and then the Colts got the ball back, but Anthony Richardson just. Yeesh. Oh, that box score. Not Purdy. As I go Brock here. 10 of 32. 10 of 32 passing? Good God. And when you juxtapose that with CJ Stroud and his efficiency, and even for CJ standard, it wasn't great yesterday, 25-37, 285 yards and a touchdown. But my God, Anthony Richardson. Yeah, he'll wow you with his athleticism and his cannon, his arm. I just thought you'd improve somewhat with your accuracy. And I know it's usually the sign in college. If you're not accurate in college, it's very hard to improve that in the NFL. But I think Josh Allen changed a lot of people's minds, and maybe he's just a one-off because he wasn't great accuracy-wise. His completion percentage at Wyoming was not great, and he improved in that in the NFL. And even this year, you're seeing that. He's cutting down the interceptions. He's being smart. But Anthony Richardson, similar stature, similar size, strength, speed, athleticism, like a Josh Allen. You got to work on those things. And, he's working through a lot of them right now. I haven't seen improvement from the start of the season to now from Anthony Richardson. And do they pivot back to Joe Flacco? I mean, they probably won that game yesterday with Joe Flacco as their quarterback. But that's that balance, right? You're trying to develop a young quarterback, and how does a young quarterback get better? By playing and playing and playing from learning from his mistakes. But also, this is a bottom line business in the NFL. You got to win. I mean, Shane Steichen, head coach, he wants to win. And there's a balance there. He wants to keep his job. But part of his job is also developing the young rookie that you invested all this draft capital in. There's a lot there. That's why the NFL's the best, man. It is. There's so many different damn storylines all around the league, all around the 49ers, all around the Jacksonville Jaguars. It doesn't matter. We're invested in every one of these teams, whether it comes to fantasy football, whether it comes to quarterbacks, whether it comes to head coaches, stadiums, fan bases. Everything about the NFL is sexy right now. And yesterday was just a banner day for the National Football League. All right. Kyle Shanahan, talking about your quarterback. because this is a quarterback-driven league. Brock Purdy, not a great first half. Picked it up in the second half. Your thoughts?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I think it was a gut check for him. I mean, for all of us, things in the first half, we were close, but it didn't go great. Brock, there's a couple plays I know he'd love to have back, and I thought he came out in the second half, and there's a few plays that weren't there, and he did a hell of a job extending with his feet. The one in particular, trying to throw a screen to Debo, and the DN peeled with it, and which means you have no play, and he just ran and turned it into a 16-yarder. So he did some real big things there in the second half.
888-957-9570. We got a quick break here. Got 2 more segments. How would you describe this 49ers team in one word? How would you assess halfway point in the season? 4-4, heading into the bye week. Got the Bucs coming out. You needed to win against the Cowboys, and you got it. Wasn't pretty. You looked good at times. You didn't look good at times. It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. Was that Tale of Two Cities? How would you describe them? One word. 888-957-9570 is the number as the pregame show rolls on. And coming up, at some point, we got to talk about what happened yesterday at Chase Center. Scariness. Anytime you're talking about ankle, you're talking about injury, and you're talking about Steph Curry, you're going to be sweating. And Dub Nation's sweating right now. We'll get into that on the other side on the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 95.7 The Game.
Hey, diamond lovers. Shane Company knows fine jewelry. That means a lot when you're looking for a dream engagement ring, a beautiful keepsake, or the perfect gift. When it's this important, you want someone who knows exactly how to work with your budget, not against it. Someone who knows you deserve a piece more beautiful than you've ever imagined. Through 4 generations as a family business, we've always sourced.
in-depth historical accounts for over 30 years. And The Panorama, a quarterly newsletter covering ongoing activities and historical presentations. Go to sfhistory.org and discover the San Francisco Historical Society, giving our history a great future. Become a member today.
Dub Nation, it's Steve Kerr. You're listening to the pregame show with Joe Spadoni on 95.7 The Game.
Thanks, Steve. Joe Shasky. He's going to be up here in about 30 minutes. This is the pregame show. Joe Spadoni, 888-957-9570 is the number. 49ers 30, Cowboys 24. Hope you all having a lovely morning. If you're just getting off work, getting ready to start the week. It's Halloween week. God, time is flying by. You got November is right around the corner, and then you got Thanksgiving, then you got Christmas, then you got New Year's. Stuff's going to start happening fast. And it's going to start being bad in like offices right now because I'm already seeing it. You get the bowl of just Halloween candy just chilling right in the middle. Right when you walk in, there's just a bowl. Kit Kats and Hershey's. Hershey's or whatever. That's just plain chocolate. Doesn't do anything for me. The Kit Kats, the Twix, the Snickers, the Reese's. It's tough. It's tough. This is the season that's going to get you. All right? If you like to pig out a little bit. You start having a lot of parties, a lot of potlucks, cookies, stuff like that. You got to be discerning, all right? I'm saying not to treat yourself because you know what? It's okay. It's all right to have a cookie now and then. It's all right to have a little Kit Kat now and then. That's the overindulgence that you got to check ourselves with, all right? And boy, I had an overindulgence of sports over this weekend, starting with that Dodgers-Yankees game as the Dodgers are up 2-0. Heading back to the Bronx, taking on the Yankees. Yankees, I mean, that you don't lose a series in one game, rarely. But the way they lost game one, in the fashion that they did, walking Mookie Betts, giving up the grand salami to Freddie Freeman, it's hard to recover. I felt that as a neutral observer. I don't have a dog in the fight. Dodgers, Yankees, could not care less. I felt like the Dodgers won the series in one game. It felt like that. Now we'll see. And they got a huge break as Dave Roberts talked to Carl Ravage yesterday, I guess, and said that Shohei's going to play tonight. So they were worried about a potential shoulder subluxation or elbow, whatever you want to call it, injury on the slide there from Shohei Ohtani. Turns out he's going to be all right. So we'll see how effective he is in tonight's matchup. Is Aaron Judge going to do anything? Is he going to show up in this series? We'll see. We'll see. Some other news and notes, and obviously yesterday, and we'll get back into the 49ers. One word to describe this team right now at the halfway point of the season heading into the bye week is what? I said average, heard mediocre. I saw okay. Just a lot of just meh. Mixed bag. You can use that. It's two words, but all right. Want to cheat a little bit? I was saying, no to cheat every now and then. Shout out Raiders. Rule number 1 for the Raiders: cheating is encouraged. Should have done a little more of that yesterday, probably. Maybe you try to win the game. This happened though yesterday, and I'm concerned.
Oh, it's
LA.
Ankle limping a little bit.
Yeah. Pajemski to Looney. Looney over Harden, goes up and got fouled. And Curry they're gonna get him out. Yeah. He's going right to the bench. He's not going to the locker room though, so I think that maybe he stepped on somebody's foot.
Steph's ankle.
Oh, Steph just hurt himself and has taken himself off the floor, limping badly, and he's going to be helped to the locker room.
Stephen Curry, ankle injury. Clippers 112, Warriors 104. Started in the third quarter, happened to get in the fourth. This team was playing so well start this season. Yes, were they playing some bad teams in the Blazers and the Jazz? Absolutely. Clippers, they've been playing better than I thought they were going to be playing. I think Ty Lue deserves a lot of credit. He's a damn good head coach, and maybe we're all sleeping on them because no Kawhi. James Harden's not a scrub. I know we like to make fun of him, like to think, this guy's not going to. And listen, he was 2 of 12 yesterday from beyond the arc, but he got to the free throw line, 9-9. The assist numbers were up, 23 there. If it's a Zubac, my God, 23 and 18. Good Lord, 6 offensive rebounds. Yeah, the Warriors looked small yesterday. They did. But even in the loss, there is something to take away with that. Now, the end all be all, you're hoping Steph is okay. That, like, if he has to miss, he's going to get an MRI today, and we'll of all the latest, all the news. It is a football Monday here, but we will let you know what happens with Steph. But a takeaway yesterday, even in the loss, Andrew freaking Wiggins, 11 of 15, 5 of 8 from beyond the arc, 29 points. Wiggs. Now he was the only starter in minus figures in the plus minus because, as we know, plus minus is the end all be all. But him just being aggressive, that just the mindset. I don't even care that he's making all the shots. Now it helps, like that's part of it. But just the mindset of Andrew Wiggins this year feels night and day from last season. That is a major plus right now for the Golden State Warriors. If they want to do anything this year, and I'm not saying they're going to be legit title contenders. I don't even know if they feel they're going to be title contenders this year. But if they want to get to the playoffs, get to the offs themselves, because they didn't do that last year, Andrew Wiggins is going to have to be a part of that. And so far, it's early. It's 3 games. But part of last season, the narrative was, and the conversation was, he couldn't have consecutive or 3 games in a row. It would be 1 step forward, 2 steps back with Wiggins constantly. So the fact that he actually has been consistent to start this season is a good sign. Absolutely, it is a good sign. So the Warriors take the L yesterday. They're 2-1 on the season. Back in action tomorrow on a front end of a back-to-back against the New Orleans Pelicans as they play them 2 times in a row, both at Chase Center. So you get a double dose of Zion and, I know, potentially no Stephen Curry, which would be brutal. Speaking of brutal, watching Dak Prescott play quarterback at times is just brutal to watch. It's interesting. Watching the game yesterday as the 49ers won 30-24, I was watching Dak and I was watching Brock, and there are some similarities. There are. Oh, don't you dare compare Brock Purdy to Dak Prescott. Brock's been to a Super Bowl. He's been to an NFC championship, yada, yada. Listen, I don't think Dak is the best player in the NFL. Should he be the highest? It's just what the market is. The highest paid player in the NFL. It is what it is. Brock's probably going to be the highest paid quarterback, and then another quarterback's going to be that, then Caleb, then Jaden Daniel, whatever. The list goes on and on. Someone's is always going to one-up you. But he is good enough to get you to the playoffs. But when it's got to be tough if I'm a Cowboys fan yesterday and I'm Jerry Jones and I'm in that booth and I'm watching a quarterback struggle against a team so much, like he can't beat the Niners. He can't beat this team. He can't win at Levi's Stadium. It's just hard for me to wrap my mind and brain around paying a guy like that when I know our interconference rivals, the team that is constantly there in the playoffs, always there in the NFC championship picture, you can't beat them. My guy can't beat them. I can't have faith in my quarterback to beat this team. Like we were all as a nation waiting for Dak to screw up yesterday in Santa Clara. 4 straight incompletions and the game was over. Now he hit Turpin. He did. He hit him in the face mask, whatever it was. He did. But, or was it Tolbert? Was it Turpin or Tolbert? It was one of them. I think it might have been Tolbert. Apologies. Hey, but the guy didn't make a play. And maybe that's the break sometimes, but you know what? Sometimes they don't make plays. You got to make another one after that. And Brock Purdy in the second half made more plays at the end of the day than Dak Prescott. Dak Prescott had 2 key interceptions. Brock Purdy, coming off a 3-interception game himself, took care of the football. And that's all I wanted from my quarterback yesterday. And again, the stats aren't always going to look sexy. 260 yards, a touchdown, it was a good night. But Brock doesn't care. He just needed the win. And I think that calmed the waters for a lot of panicked fans, a lot of Shanahan, Purdy, the passing game. Thought the passing game was solid yesterday. I mean, George Kittle, 6 receptions, 128 yards. I mean, it was National Tight End Day yesterday. The tight ends put up historic numbers on Tight Ends Day. They were looking good. Kittle was looking good. Hell, Travis Kelce was looking good. Kyle Pitts trying to drop the ball at the end zone, by the way. Do you see that? Kyle Pitts. Just, what are we doing? Yeah, lucky. But he had 2 touchdowns yesterday. Deebo Samuel, 4 receptions, 71 yards. Again, Ricky Pearsall, 4 receptions, 38. Wasn't mad at it. Was not mad at his performance at all. In fact, I was encouraged. Absolutely. And again, Brock not fumbling that football, Kyle Shanahan spoke on it.
The one that he got sacked on? Oh, yeah. They had everyone up at the line of scrimmage, so we had a can, which is just how we get out of plays. Audible, which he had Ricky all wide open, but the guy in the line of scrimmage hit it so hard and he couldn't get it off. So it was really an unbelievable play by Brock not fumbling it.
It really was. That is a attribute that I watched a lot of quarterbacks yesterday. Like, I watched Trevor Lawrence, and my guy fumbles the ball so damn much. It just has butterfingers in the pocket. I don't know. I don't get it. He had one yesterday in his own, inside the 5 or 10 yard line, against the Green Bay Packers. Like, what are you doing? Just rolling out. Just eat it. Brock Purdy did that yesterday. Did not turn the ball over. Dak Prescott did. And that ended up being the difference in the game. I need to play this one real quick because I'm seeing it on my board and we'll get to break after it. But Kyle Shanahan, people never do a halftime locker room speech. That's all it says. I need to play this.
Honestly, people never do. That's more for movies. I mean, we only have a few minutes in there, and guys break up into their stuff, review everything that's happened, everything that's going forward, and usually it's hectic and kind of a something show. And sometimes I call the guys up and quickly break it down, and sometimes I have to go to the bathroom, and I tell Fred to call him up. And so I just say, Fred, offense is up, you got it, let's go, and we just come out. So it's more scheme.
I don't know. I still got a feeling like you're telling me if the Lions are down at halftime 14-0 to San Francisco, Dan Campbell doesn't have a speech ready to go? I don't know. Maybe Kyle just doesn't. He's not the speech kind of a guy. So maybe for him, it's not a thing. Come on. We still got to have some speeches, right? The movies, they're not all full of crap, are they? Are they? Yeah, they might be. I'm not full of crap. Well, sometimes I am. But we got one more segment here on the other side. 888-957-9570 is the number. One word to describe the 49ers right now as they are 4-4 heading into the season. They get a massive win over the hated Dallas Cowboys. A lot of Cowboys fans yesterday at Levi's. And a lot of them going home sad. But 49ers fans, you get to be happy for the next 2 weeks at least. Or at least relieved on 95.7 The Game.
How's your home handling hot and chilly weather these days? For a comfortable home, you should consider proper weather.
always go into a season, expect to win them all. So not exactly where you want to be, but going into this game, we knew this was a big one. We didn't want to be 3-5 going into the bye week, having your backs against the wall like that. Getting that win was huge, being 4-4. Not at all the record that we wanted when we set out. But when you look at our division and everything, feeling in a real good spot, especially finishing it here with a win. Hopefully we can take some time off, rest a little bit, get a couple guys back, hopefully, and come back and string some wins together here in the second half.
Kyle Shanahan after the win yesterday. Welcome in, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. We got one more segment here at the pregame show. Joe Spadoni before handing it off to Bonte Hill and Joe Shasky. 49ers 30, Cowboys 24. Man, got a little hairy there at the end. Niners just like to do that this year. Again, I was just talking to Joe Shasky on the other side. Bonte and Shasky are fired up for this win. A lot to get into there. Obviously, monitoring Stephen Curry's ankle. He got that hurt. Any news that comes out of there, they're getting an MRI. Hopefully that comes back negative. Just a sprain, hopefully. But we will let you know the news there. It's the Rams game, the Cardinals game, right? Vikings game. The Vikings game, they kind of dominated most of it. But specifically the Rams and the Cardinals games where you just let them hang around. And we saw that with the Cardinals yesterday. The Dolphins are letting them hang around, and then Cardinals won. They have talent. Like, the 49ers are not running away with this division this year. You got to stop using last year's lenses on this year's season. You got to take those glasses off, get a new prescription, go to the eye doctor, get your eyes dilated. I don't know what, if you're a fan. But you cannot use last year as a litmus test for this 49ers season. This is a different team. It's a different situation. It's a different conference right now. It's a different division right now. You just look, Kyle Shanahan alluded to it. Cardinals 4-4, Niners 4-4, Seahawks 4-4, Rams 3-4. Rams are 3-1. They're the hottest team in that division. 3-1 in their last 4. They've won 2 in a row. Although they haven't won on the road. Interesting. I'm going to pull up the schedule for all these teams. Because I gotta think the 49ers have the toughest road ahead still. Now, it doesn't mean they can't win the division. But I'm looking at the Bucs. That's not going to be easy. I know, no Mike Evans, no Chris Godwin. That was, they kind of got their asses kicked in a divisional matchup yesterday against Kirk Cousins and the Atlanta Falcons. Kyle Pitts was running rampant yesterday. Then you got the Seahawks at home. I don't think much of the Seahawks, to be honest with you. So you could be looking at 6-4, heading into a massive battle and showdown around Thanksgiving against the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau Field. It will be cold. Dare I say a potential bad weather game. Maybe we get to see Brock Purdy in back-to-back bad weather situations because you're going to be playing Buffalo a week after that. Nay, there will be bad weather because it'll be December 1st in Buffalo, and I got to think it's not going to be 65 degrees and sunny like it would be in Santa Clara. Then you're at home against the Bears. That defense is for real, and Caleb, if he is on and that offense is on, they are lethal. Then you got the Rams, and then you got Dolphins, Lions, Cardinals. This is not going to be easy. It's not. And I don't think the Seahawks are the biggest rival right now to win this division. I actually don't. I would go with the Rams, just given how their defense is played. And if you look at the Rams schedule, they got a massive divisional round matchup this week against the Seattle Seahawks in Seattle. Then they're at home against the Dolphins. Then they got the Patriots. Okay. Eagles, Saints, Bills, Niners, Jets, Cardinals, Seahawks. So a lot of divisional round matchup, I should say. Not round. That makes it sound like the playoffs. But divisional matchups. And then you got some bad teams in there. Saints aren't very good. Patriots aren't very good. The Jets are not very good. So they got some opportunities there. And the Dolphins, they're not a good team right now. They got good players. They're not a good team. So it's going to be very interesting to see how this thing shakes out potentially. Could we be looking at 49ers Cardinals? And that's a flex scenario. That's the last game of the year. Could that be for the division potentially in Arizona? That would be sick. That would be fun. I'm rooting for it. Oh, Spadoni, you don't want to? I was like, no, I'm rooting for chaos, baby. I got no dog in the fight. I'm rooting for drama. TNT, we know drama, baby. That's what I'm rooting for. Brock Purdy. You rooting for that second half that you were doing yesterday? You feeling good in that second half? Talk to me, baby.
Definitely thought had some missed opportunities, obviously for big plays, but just completions in general in that first half, especially on third downs. And so, for me, I was just being real with myself and knew that I had to be better, especially for our team, man. Defense was doing a great job in that first half, and for us, I feel like we just stalled on third downs, and a lot of that was on me. So went into the halftime, just talked about our plan for the second half, and from my mindset, it was like, I got to get back to basics and just keep things simple in my mind and still playing with conviction, but being aggressive and just trusting in my guys. And so that was the mindset, and I thought we went out and, for the most part, executed a lot better.
Here's more from Brock talking about relying on guys, especially the new faces in the huddle, because trust is a major, major factor in the National Football League, especially at the quarterback position. If you don't have trust in your playmakers, that shows very quickly. You become more hesitant, you become less decisive, and that's how you turn the ball over. That's how you fumble the ball. That's how you throw interceptions. That's when you eat sacks. That's when you have losing plays. You can not have multiple seconds to think about something. You have to be like that. Snap of a finger. Shout out Thanos. You got to know where you're going. And having new faces and rookies and the Guarendos, the Pearsalls, that could make that difficult. Here's Brock talking about that.
Obviously, we've gotten a lot of work on the field at practice and just honing into who we got playing. And so this week was great for all of us, especially the young guys, Ricky, Jacob, Chris Conley, and then obviously George and Debo being able to step up and lead those guys, man. We have some new faces in the huddle, but with those guys and their leadership and experience, man, we could always rely on them.
And finally, from the quarterback on what the bye means to this team, 4-4 heading into it.
Obviously, it's a great week for all of us to just continue to rest up and heal up and then just be hard on ourselves on the film and where we can be better, because the second half of the season is everything. Every game matters, and it's the most important stretch. That obviously, you go back to the history of this place, like this is when it matters. And you put your head down, you don't look up to the end. So it'll be good for everyone to get healthy and be ready come Tampa Bay. And, I think that's the main focus and point.
God, we got a couple minutes here. So my main takeaway from watching this week, and obviously we got one more game on tonight as it pertains to the NFL. Who we got tonight? We got, who is it? Steelers. Gross. Ugh. Y'all be locked in the World Series. Steelers, Giants. Ugh. I'm actually interested to see how the World Series will do, because that is not a sexy matchup. I get the brands are big. The Steelers and the Giants are two of the biggest brands in their respective conferences, but Russell Wilson, Daniel Jones, or Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge in the Bronx. I think I know what I'm going to be watching. I think a lot of Giants fans that are also Yankees fans know what they're going to be watching. It's going to be the World Series. But some of my main takeaways, just watching football this weekend and this season thus far, is I have no idea who's going to win the Super Bowl. And if I had to bet, it's probably still the Chiefs, probably, if I had to bet. But I got to be... I'd be lying to you if I said I'm confident in it. I mean, they skated by the Raiders. The Raiders covered. Shout out the Raiders. Hey, that's the recipe this year, baby. Not just win, baby. It's just cover, baby, for the Raiders. They're covering, all right? Just keep losing and covering. Go draft yourself a quarterback. It's all fine. Fire Antonio Pierce and Luke Getsy. There you go. That's the recipe. But the Chiefs, then you got the Texans, you got the Bills. You got the Steelers. You got the playoffs end today. The Denver freaking Broncos are in there. They handled the Panthers and Bryce Young. He stinks. It just is what it is. But the Denver freaking Broncos are going to be in the playoffs. Come on. There's a lot to happen still. And if you're the 49ers, and yes, the season ends today, the Niners would not be in. Your playoffs would look as such. Lions, Commanders, Falcons, Cardinals, Packers, Vikings, Eagles. You're out right now. Thankfully, the season's not over. And thankfully, you got a lot of these injuries out potentially of the way early if you're San Francisco. We'll wait and see with Christian McCaffrey. That's going to be the one. I'm still very skeptical on the notion that he is going to be playing at an elite level at any point this season. I'm just frightened by the injury. Bilateral Achilles tendonitis. We shall see. We shall see. We'll also see if the morning roast is fired up. I have a feeling they are, because I could hear them behind the scenes. Bonta Hill, Joe Shasky, breaking down 49ers, Cowboys, next on 95.7 The Game.
You're listening to 95.7 The Game, KGM.